They say betrayal feels like a knife in the back. But when it's family, it's slower. Like someone stealing the oxygen out of your lungs, dollar by dollar. Until you can't breathe. I remember staring at my laptop screen frozen. My balance wiped. $6,300 gone. My chest tightened like someone had placed a fist inside me and squeezed. That money was supposed to carry me through the month. Instead, it was scattered across handbags, sneakers, overpriced lotions, and even a deposit for some wellness retreat. And the thief? My niece. 18 years old. Unemployed. Not a single cent to her name. But she spent my last savings like she was the star of her own reality show. The night before, she tossed it out so casually. I used your card for snacks. Snacks. That's what she called it. I didn't argue. I didn't even raise my voice. I just walked to my room and opened my laptop. And when I saw the charges, it wasn't anger I felt. It was silence. A silence so heavy it felt like drowning. That card wasn't for them. It was my emergency fund. My lifeline. But because of them, emergencies had become weekly. Groceries. Gas. School supplies for my daughter. 6 months ago, I let my sister's family move in for 2 weeks. 2 weeks became half a year. My daughter gave up her bedroom so theirs could have space. I gave up sleep, weekends, my own dignity just to keep everyone afloat. And now this. Around midnight, I told my sister. Her reaction? She blinked, rubbed her eyes, and whispered, "Kids will be kids." That's when something inside me snapped. Not loudly, but quietly. Like glass cracking in slow motion. I didn't yell. I didn't fight. I simply turned around, shut my door, and froze every single card tied to their accounts. By 6 a.m. The house was chaos. My sister's scream tore through the hallway when she realized her cards were dead. 10 minutes later, her husband called me, spitting curses into the phone, demanding to know why his Uber Eats wasn't working. I let him rant. Then I hung up that I wasn't sorry. Not anymore. Because this wasn't an accident. This was what happens when you teach people your boundaries are optional. The morning spiraled. My sister stormed through the kitchen, slamming cabinets, shouting, "How could you do this to us?" Her husband sulked on the porch, vaping like he'd just been fired again. And my niece, my thief, sat in the living room, tears streaming down her face, not because she was ashamed, but because her designer bags were being refunded. I sat at the kitchen table, sipping coffee, watching them unravel. Silent. Letting them feel the wreckage they created. At noon, my sister finally demanded a grown-up conversation. We sat across from each other like enemies negotiating a treaty. She said my reaction was extreme. Her husband said I'd damaged the trust. And my niece, God, I can still hear her voice, said shopping gave her stability. That spending money she didn't earn made her feel in control. I wanted to laugh. Instead, I told them the truth. I had less than $300 left. I was behind on bills. My daughter had sacrificed her peace for their comfort. I hadn't had a weekend off in 4 months. And yet, somehow, I was the villain for cutting them off. I told them I didn't want the money back. Not because I forgave them. Because I was done. Done expecting accountability from people who thought kindness was weakness. Days passed. They tiptoed around me. Did dishes. Kept quiet. But I saw through it. It wasn't guilt, it was waiting me out. Waiting for me to soften like I always did. So one night, I stayed up and made a plan. I printed job listings, circled bus routes, even wrote notes about which positions might fit each of them. Host. Server. Warehouse associate. Entry level, nothing glamorous but a start. When I showed them, my sister nodded without looking at me. Her husband muttered it wasn't that simple. And my niece? She rolled her eyes, dropped the papers straight into the trash and said, "I'm not desperate." Those 3 words haunted me. I'm not desperate. As if I wasn't killing myself working extra shifts to keep them warm. As if my daughter hadn't lost her childhood bedroom so she could scroll TikTok all day. That night, lying in the dark, I decided. They weren't desperate yet. I was about to let life make them desperate. The next morning, I gathered every receipt, every unopened box from my niece's luxury haul. Designer handbags, sneakers, skincare bottles, still in packaging like trophies she never earned. I loaded them into my car and spent 5 hours returning them, one by one, boutique by boutique, refund after refund. By the end, I'd recovered nearly $4,500. When I came home, she noticed. She exploded, screamed, called me a thief, even hurled a coffee mug across the kitchen wall. My daughter cried in the doorway. My sister asked what was happening. My niece screamed she was calling the cops. I looked her dead in the eyes and said, "Go ahead." For the first time, she was silent. That night, I gave them an ultimatum. 14 days. Find jobs. Find a place. Get out. No more warnings. No more chances. They laughed. They cried. They begged. I didn't bend. And when the deadline came, they were gone. No goodbye. No epalegi. Just a half-eaten box of cereal and a pair of flip-flops left behind. People think betrayal is loud, slamming doors, screaming matches. But the worst kind? It's quiet. It's in the way people take from you until there's nothing left but your silence. That I learned something. Boundaries aren't walls to keep people out. They're fences to protect the life you've built. And if someone keeps climbing over them, it's not your job to keep rebuilding the fence, it's your job to lock the gate. So tell me, if it were your family, would you have locked it sooner?